So I will give you a few words about the Nordic markets and focus on Sweden and Finland, that is closest to us, and of course also Russia. The Scandinavian markets, I mean, in healthcare, it's really tax-funded healthcare, as you know. And it's, living standards are high, population is probably one of the oldest in the world, and it's definitely a big market that's starting to privatize. It's been today is really in history it's been really provided by the public side. But as we go forward, it will be more and more private, and we'll go through why. Just look on the spending. I mean, the Nordic market is quite sizable in healthcare, and of course most of this is then the primary market. So it's close to 55 billion euros spent in these four markets, and the growth has been quite good, 5 to 7% over the last 5 years up to 2009. The organization of the healthcare differs. I mean, in general it's like this, is that the healthcare is provided by the counties, the health regions. In Sweden it's called the counties, which is about 20. In Denmark and in Norway it's like 4 or 5 regions. But when it comes to the primary care, it's very much provided in a lot of countries by the municipalities on a more local level. And that's even more true when it comes to the general care, so this is the healthcare. And as you see, the healthcare markets, almost 2/3 is specialist care. And here's where we really would see a lot of changes going forward, since the demand is increasing. The taxes are very high in the Nordic countries, but they cannot increase the tax levels more or less because it's so high. So the out-of-pocket payment will increase going forward. And one of the actions by the different countries, especially going in Sweden and Finland, is actually that private providers are allowed to do more. You will have more and more specialist clinics that are focused on different type of surgeries, like orthopedics, like dental, like eye surgery, etc. And background, of course, that the increase in the market is, of course, aging. We are old people. I mean, and we're getting a lot of people that will be plus 80 in the coming from 2020 and onwards. So it's really going to be a change in the population there. And people are very active, as we see also on the European level. Technology is increasing everywhere, and therefore also will you have more and more, I mean, medical type of treatments that everyone wants to do, and you are doing to change your heart valves when you're plus 80, whatever it is, but you still feel healthy, you play golf and you're active. And as I said, privatization is starting. More in Finland, coming in Sweden, some segments, a bit less in Denmark and Norway, but it's coming. And one big drive is also the customer choice. I mean, history is more like the state told you, you go to your hospital, but more and more in a lot of countries, especially in Sweden, the customer are allowed to actually choose where to go. And there's a time insurance. If you're not given to get your care within 30 days, you're actually allowed to go to another region outside your own and get that care for free, more or less. A similar program was implemented in Denmark a few years. It was actually a health bill. You can actually take your money, and if you were not allowed to give your health care from the public side, you can actually go to a private provider, and it was paid by the tax. And as we hear, increased focus on health and well-being. So we see that here. This, of course, is a booming market for healthcare companies. I will come back to that on the private side. And more and more of these places are Nordic. They're not only in Sweden, not only in Finland, not only in Norway, whatever it is. They're actually acting in all these four markets, and they see the region as one. And very often we also keep Estonia as we go into this focus. So who are the players and how are they doing? And probably some of them firms you already know very well, like tervisest are big in Finland. But a lot of these players are actually Nordic companies. Aleris, coming from Sweden now, fully covered full of Sweden more or less, coming from the Stockholm region, also very active in Norway, very strong there, starting to build their presence in Denmark, but not yet in Finland. Kohvihommik is been active across the whole Europe, but now mainly in the northern part of Europe. Ambea is a combination of Finland and Sweden. It's Carema in Sweden, so they are also a big player, and Praktiktjänst is more local. And most of them are about in the growth rate of 10 to 20% and in profitability around 10%. But as you see, there are some specialist clinics that are really making much more money.